They thought it would be the ultimate humiliation, a cruel joke that would destroy her forever. But sometimes the universe has different plans. Sometimes your darkest moment becomes your brightest beginning. This is the story of Maya Thompson and how one act of cruelty became the catalyst for something extraordinary. Stay with me because this story will make you believe in the power of never giving up. Westfield Academy in Chicago was the kind of private school where your last name mattered more than your character, where designer handbags were more important than good grades, and where Maya Thompson stuck out like a dandelion in a field of roses. Maya was 17, quiet, and what the popular kids called a charity case. She was there on a full scholarship, something that Principal Harrison reminded everyone about whenever her name came up in faculty meetings. Her mom, Linda, cleaned office buildings at night to make ends meet after Maya's father walked out when she was 10. They lived in a cramped studio apartment where the heating barely worked in winter, and the air conditioning was a broken window fan. Every morning, Maya would iron her one good uniform on a towel spread across their tiny kitchen table. She'd pack a peanut butter sandwich for lunch and walk 40 minutes to school because bus fare meant less money for groceries. But Maya had learned to be invisible. She sat in the back of every class, never raised her hand, and spent lunch periods in the music room where nobody bothered to look for her. That music room was her sanctuary. It was there, when she thought nobody was listening, that Maya would sing. Her voice was pure magic, a gift that seemed to come from somewhere beyond her circumstances. She'd sing old hymns her grandmother taught her, pop songs she heard on the radio, anything that helped her forget about empty refrigerators and overdue bills. Rachel Montgomery was everything Maya wasn't. Blonde, wealthy, and absolutely ruthless. Her father owned half the real estate in downtown Chicago, and Rachel made sure everyone knew it. She drove a Mercedes to school, carried purses that cost more than Maya's mom made in 2 months, and had a group of followers who hung on her every word like she was dispensing gospel truth. Rachel's favorite hobby was making Maya's life miserable. She'd trip her in hallways, spread rumors about her smelling like cleaning supplies, and once even started a group chat called Charity Case Updates, where kids would post photos of Maya eating alone or wearing the same outfit twice in 1 week. But Rachel wanted something bigger, something that would humiliate Maya so completely that she'd transfer schools and disappear forever. The opportunity came during preparation for the annual Spring Showcase, Westfield's biggest event where parents donated thousands of dollars while students performed. Mrs. Patterson, the drama teacher, was desperately looking for participants. Most of the wealthy kids were too busy with their private tutoring and vacation planning to care about school events. During announcements one Tuesday morning, she pleaded for students to sign up. That's when Rachel's cruel mind hatched the perfect plan. She whispered to her best friend, Brittany Lawson, loud enough for half the class to hear. You know what would be absolutely hilarious? Getting the scholarship girl to sing at the showcase. Can you imagine Maya Thompson on stage in front of all our parents? She'd probably faint from the pressure. Brittany giggled like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. Oh my God, yes. We should totally dare her to do it. But Rachel was smarter than a simple dare. She knew Maya would never agree to that. No, this required manipulation. This required making Maya believe someone actually cared about her. The next day, Rachel approached Maya after English class, wearing her most convincing smile. Maya looked up from packing her worn backpack, surprised that Rachel Montgomery was even acknowledging her existence. Hey, Maya, Rachel said sweetly. I heard you singing in the music room yesterday. You have an amazing voice. Maya's cheeks flushed red. She thought she'd been alone. Oh, I didn't know anyone was listening. Are you kidding? You're incredible. Listen, I know we haven't really talked before, but I think you should perform at the Spring Showcase. Seriously, you could win the whole thing. Maya shook her head quickly. Oh, no, I couldn't. I mean, I don't perform in front of people. I just sing for myself. Rachel leaned in closer, lowering her voice conspiratorially. But Maya, think about it. This could change everything for you. You could get noticed, maybe even get a music scholarship for college. Don't you want people to see how talented you are? For a moment, Maya allowed herself to imagine it, standing on stage, sharing her gift with the world, making her mother proud. But reality crashed back down quickly. I don't have anything to wear, Maya mumbled, and I'd probably mess up anyway. Are you crazy? You're not going to mess up. And don't worry about clothes. We'll figure something out. Rachel's smile widened. What do you say? Will you at least think about it? Maya hesitated for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Okay, I'll think about it. As Maya walked away, Rachel turned to Brittany with a wicked grin. Phase 1 complete. Now we just need to make sure everyone knows about it. Over the next week, word spread through Westfield Academy like wildfire. Maya Thompson, the quiet scholarship girl, was going to sing at the spring showcase. Students whispered about it in hallways, parents gossiped about it at country club lunches, and teachers exchanged knowing glances during faculty meetings. Maya had no idea that her decision to perform had become the school's biggest joke. She spent every evening practicing in her tiny apartment, singing into a hairbrush while her mother worked late shifts. She chose a song that meant everything to her, Rise Up by Andra. It was a song about overcoming obstacles, about finding strength when the world tries to break you. The night before the showcase, Maya could barely sleep. She borrowed a simple black dress from her mother and spent an hour trying to make her hair look presentable. Her hands shook as she practiced her song one more time in the mirror. Mija, her mother said softly from the doorway, Are you sure about this? Maya turned to face her mother, Linda Thompson, a woman whose hands were permanently stained from cleaning supplies, but whose eyes still held hope despite everything life had thrown at her. I'm scared, Mom, Maya admitted, but I have to try. This might be my only chance. Linda walked over and took her daughter's hands. Then you sing with everything you have. You show them who Maya Thompson really is. The night of the spring showcase arrived with all the pomp and circumstance that Westfield Academy was famous for. The auditorium was packed with Chicago's elite, investment bankers, real estate moguls, tech entrepreneurs, all dressed in nines and ready to write big checks for the school's fundraising efforts. Maya stood backstage, her heart pounding so hard she was sure everyone could hear it. She watched through a gap in the curtains as Rachel Montgomery's crew performed a perfectly choreographed dance routine to thunderous applause. Next came Brandon Collins playing piano, his technique flawless and clinical. Then Mrs. Patterson appeared beside her. You're up next, Maya. Are you ready? Maya nodded, though she felt anything but ready. As she walked toward the stage entrance, she heard Rachel's voice behind her. Break a leg, Rachel called out, but there was something in her tone that made Maya's stomach clench. The curtains opened, and Maya stepped into the blinding spotlight. The auditorium fell silent, except for a few scattered whispers. She could see hundreds of faces staring up at her, most wearing expressions of confusion or barely concealed amusement. In the third row, she spotted Rachel and her friends, phones already out and recording. Rachel had a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Maya approached the microphone, her legs feeling like they might give out at any moment. She cleared her throat and spoke into the silence. Hi, I'm Maya Thompson, and I'm going to sing Rise Up by Andra. A few people in the audience exchanged glances. Someone in the back actually chuckled. Maya closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and began to sing. The first note that came out of her mouth was shaky, uncertain. A few more snickers rippled through the audience. Maya's cheeks burned with embarrassment, and for a moment, she considered running off stage. But then something magical happened. Maya opened her eyes, looked out at all those judgmental faces, and thought about her mother working double shifts. She thought about every cruel comment, every lonely lunch, every night she dreamed of something better. And instead of running, she found her strength. Her voice grew stronger, more confident. The shaky nervousness disappeared, replaced by pure, raw emotion. Maya wasn't just singing anymore. She was telling her story. Every note carried the weight of her struggles, the depth of her dreams, the power of her hope. The snickering stopped first, then the whispers died away. By the time Maya reached the chorus, the entire auditorium had fallen into complete, stunned silence. I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Her voice soared through the auditorium, reaching into places in people's hearts they'd forgotten existed. In the audience, a businessman who hadn't cried in 20 years felt tears running down his cheeks. A society woman who measured everyone by their net worth found herself thinking about the dreams she'd abandoned. Maya poured everything she had into that song. Every lonely night, every empty stomach, every moment she felt invisible, it all came pouring out in 3.5 minutes of pure, devastating beauty. When she hit the final note, holding it with a power that seemed impossible for someone so small, the silence stretched on for what felt like an eternity. Then someone started clapping. Slowly at first, then faster. Then someone else joined in. Within seconds, the entire auditorium erupted in thunderous applause. People weren't just clapping. They were on their feet, cheering, some openly crying. Maya stood on that stage, tears streaming down her face, watching as 500 of Chicago's most powerful people gave her a standing ovation that lasted nearly 5 minutes. In the third row, Rachel Montgomery sat frozen, her mouth hanging open, her phone forgotten in her lap. The cruel joke she'd planned had backfired spectacularly. Instead of humiliating Maya, she'd given her a platform to show the world her incredible gift. After the showcase, Maya was surrounded by people wanting to talk to her. A talent scout from Columbia Records pressed his business card into her hand. A music teacher from Northwestern University promised her a full scholarship. Local news reporters asked for interviews. But the moment that mattered most came when Maya found her mother waiting by the stage door. Linda Thompson wrapped her daughter in the biggest hug of her life. "I knew you had magic in you, Mija," her mother whispered. "I just knew it." 6 months later, Maya Thompson signed her first recording contract. A year after that, her debut single hit #1 on the Billboard charts. She used her platform to advocate for underprivileged students and started a scholarship fund for kids who couldn't afford music lessons. At her first Grammy nomination ceremony, when reporters asked about her journey, Maya always told the same story about a cruel joke that became her greatest blessing. Rachel Montgomery? She transferred schools the following year after video of Maya's performance went viral, and everyone learned about her role in what was supposed to be a humiliation. Some say she learned from the experience and became a better person. Others say she never did. But Maya Thompson rose up. She rose up and did it 1,000 times again, just like the song promised. And every time she performed, she remembered that sometimes your biggest breakthrough comes disguised as your worst nightmare. Sometimes the people trying to tear you down are actually the ones pushing you toward your destiny. Maya's story proves that your circumstances don't define you. Your response to them does. That voice you're afraid to use, that dream you think is too big, that moment you're terrified to take the leap. Maybe that's exactly what the world is waiting for. So the next time someone tries to make you feel small, remember Maya Thompson. Remember that your greatest moment of triumph might be hiding behind your biggest fear. Because sometimes, just sometimes, what starts as a joke becomes a legend.